If there's one area on your vehicle's surface that is probably one of the most annoying to deal with, it is absolutely glass. Not only on the interior getting, fingerprints, haze, and off-gassing off, but your exterior windows as well, especially when you're dealing with water spots. Today, we're going to be testing out and trying Adam's glass polish here to see if having a dedicated glass polish product like this is worth it for being in your detailing arsenal. Welcome back to another out-of-spec detailing video here from Clear Detailing in Northern Colorado. Let's jump into it. In front of me here is a gamut of different products that you can use to remove water spots off your vehicle's glass. Now there are products over here that are chemical removers such as Geon Water Spot, CarPro Spotless, and Chemical Guys Heavy Duty Water Spot Remover. In all honesty, these two I've used in the past. They're really meant to remove light water spots here and there. You can use this on glass, you can use it on trim, chrome, wheels, paint, whatever it may be. Then you move up to something like Chemical Guys Heavy Duty Water Spot Remover. This product is very, very good at removing water spots off your vehicle's glass, but in all honesty can be kind of annoying to use. Then you move over into products like compounds and polishes, which aren't really supposed to be used on glass, but you can use them on glass. And oftentimes I'll just grab one of these because I have it laying here at the shop and just quickly polish out glass. Then you move over here to two products specifically made for glass polishing, and I want to put Adam's glass polish to the test today. Now I've used CarPro Seri Glass for quite literally years. Now this is kind of my nuclear bomb option if I have a car with really heavy water spots on glass that none of these other products are touching. This is what I'm going to grab. You can use this by hand or you can use it by machine. Now in all honesty, I haven't loved using this product just because it's an absolute mess to use. It turns all of the trim around the windows bright white. It also creates a ton of dust if you're polishing, and it can be really annoying to actually get off and get perfectly streak-free crystal clear glass. And that's really where Adam's glass polish comes in. Now with this video, I also want to find out if it really makes sense to purchase a single dedicated use product. I see a lot of this in the comment section below. Oh, another product for one specific area on my vehicle. And I do understand where people come from like this. If you're a DIY detailer, you don't need to have 75 different products to detail a car. But in my line of work as a professional detailer, having a specific product made specifically for the job can increase efficiency, and it can also increase better results. So that's why I want to test out Adam's glass polish. Now this Volvo XC90 next to me was supposedly supposed to be a brand new car, but from my impression, this car had sat on a dealership lot for quite a while and has water spots basically all over the paint, which I've already removed doing a compound, and specifically all over the windows. Now, the thing that I want to test out with Adam's glass polish here, is this one of the most simple to use, easy, and effective products that is also cost effective? Because in my impression, at $14.99, this is something, if it works properly, that could be an essential tool to have in your detailing arsenal. So what I want to test out today, we're going to split this window in half. We're going to do a before and after. We're going to do this by hand. And I also want to test it out by machine to see if this is a product that can be quickly done by somebody like myself as a professional detailer instead of using a compound or a polish here. Now this really comes down to compound and polish can be quite annoying to get off of glass. You really see it streak a lot. You have to use a lot of alcohol or some other remover to really get all of the polishing oils off of there. And also, you don't want a ton of polishing oils if you're going to ceramic coat the glass afterwards, like I'm going to do here. Adam's glass polish is specifically meant to be used before you ceramic coat your glass. So I think that'll be really interesting to test out. So let's get this window taped up. Let's try this by hand. Let's try it by machine and see what our review of Adam's glass polish actually is. So we're going to be testing the glass polish here on the side windows of this Volvo XC90, which surprisingly have quite a few water spots on it. Let me grab my Scan Grip light over here, and as you can see, water spots everywhere. This thing out in the sunlight looks absolutely terrible, and when I wipe over this, you can just feel all the grit on there. If I grab my glass cleaning microfiber towel here, I wipe over it and it just kind of drags all over. So this is damp on one side, just wiping that off. Just want to show you the water spots are not coming off by just using a simple glass cleaner. They're actually pretty darn baked in there. So I want to use this product in the most simple way possible by doing it by hand. Now, in my opinion, this is going to be the most time intensive, but if the glass polish is quite aggressive and I think you can use it by hand, I'll definitely recommend it. But as a professional detailer, my time is money, so I also want to test it out on a Rupes polisher here with a yellow Rupes foam pad. That's a polishing pad. Now on the back here, pretty straightforward. You just want to make sure the glass is pretty clean. So I'd probably wipe this down with glass cleaner. You don't want to come in here with a completely dusty, dirty window full of bugs and all of that nastiness. You also never want to do anything when the glass is hot. You don't want to do this outside in the baking hot sunlight, and make sure it's completely cool. So for application process here, you want to use some sort of applicator. Adam says you can use one of their hex grip, you can use a microfiber applicator, or you can simply use a towel here. So you want to work it in. They don't say anything on the label here by using it by machine, but I want to test it out, of course, and see if it actually works. You want to allow the product to dry to a haze over hard to read here, over the course of several minutes, then wipe off with a quality microfiber towel. If the haze is stubborn to remove, dampen the towel or cloth first, repeat as necessary. So again, doesn't say anything about polishing, but we're going to get this to the test. So I'm going to put a piece of tape down the window. We're going to leave this as our before side. I'm going to do the top side by hand, the bottom side by polisher, and see what our results are and give a verdict on Adam's glass polish. Now really what I want to figure out with this product is if it's DIY friendly or if this is a professional grade product. Now honestly, I know Adam's quite well. I just did an interview doing a full warehouse tour, behind the scenes headquarters tour down in Thornton, Colorado. And I talked to Joe there where they specifically make products to be made for the DIY enthusiast. But the nice thing is they can also be used in a professional sense. So let's first start off here how I think the weekend warrior DIY guy would use this. And we're going to put a little polish here on our microfiber towel. I'm going to get my headlamp on and get my elbow grease pumping here. Now, a lot of the glass polishes that I use are very strong and kind of chalky, if you will. Now, this to me feels very smooth, very slick. One thing that really annoys me about using a product like Sari glass is that getting it on rubber trim can turn it completely white, and then by using it by machine, it's just spraying this glass polishing dust absolutely all over the car, making a complete mess. And it's often the case as professional detailers where I kind of leave the glass to the last minute. That's kind of my last step. And then I go back in and clean the glass. And if you have to polish it after you've coated a car, perfectly cleaned it, then it becomes a mess using a sprayable product or even polishing with a lot of compound dust flying everywhere. So honestly, that went on pretty easy. So I want to make this sit here for a few minutes and let's test this out on a polishing pad. Now, my impression with this, it's going to be a lot quicker, a lot less elbow grease, but edges are going to become an issue here. Trying to get the machine down into corners like this, what you're probably going to have to do, in my expectation, is use a polisher, then come back in and do the edges by hand, which is how I really do all glass polishing. So let's get this on here. Let's go speed 2. I think that's a good low speed, and just work this product in and see how it does. Okay, so first thing I notice here, goes on pretty darn smooth. We are getting a little bit of compound dust that could also be from the pad. Brand new Rupes microfiber pads, as I can see over here. This is all yellow foam, so that may not be a huge indication of what this does polishing, but I am starting to see a little bit of that more blue-white color in here. Now, I've let this sit for just a little bit. I just want to do a little trial here and wipe this off. And honestly, looks pretty darn good. Now, I will tell you here, definitely some water spots left over. So maybe this is a product you need to leave a little bit longer, or maybe it's the case I didn't work it in enough. Now, what I look for here in glass is looking into the polish or the compound on here and I still see water spots up here done by hand. Down here, it's definitely looking almost the same actually. So I'm curious to see how this works. Let's give this a few minutes. Let's wipe it off. The wipe off thing is also extremely important to me. I don't want to wipe this off and it be super sticky. I want to feel it come off very quickly and easily, not leaving a bunch of oils behind, not leaving it kind of streaky and nasty all over. So let's let this sit for a few minutes. I'll bring you guys in a little bit closer and we can give a verdict on this product. I've put my scan grip lights up here, so hopefully you guys can see a little bit more of what I'm seeing. Now again, our top area up here was hand polished, and you can see kind of right in that area how you can still tell that there's a little residue left over. See how it's kind of broken up? All those little spots in there are some water spots. Now down here with the glass polish, kind of noticing the same thing. So I'm curious to see how this actually does when I wipe it off. Now I've grabbed a fresh microfiber towel. For me, I want to see this come off super simple. And wow, holy smokes, feels extremely smooth actually. And honestly, removed quite a bit of water spots there. Look at the difference. Hopefully you guys can see that. So the camera's having a little hard time of focusing here as I wipe this off, feeling extremely smooth. Now, can I see a difference between hand polishing and polishing? Honestly, I'm still seeing some water spotting here, guys. It's very hard to see. Let me see if I can kind of bring you in a little bit closer. It's not 100% perfect, and yeah, the camera's just impossible to focus here. Let me grab my other scan grip light. Boom, over here, and see if we can help out a little bit. Yeah, still struggling. You see that kind of haze over there still, and you can kind of see all the dots in there. Again, do apologize, it's not really focusing. There you can really see it. See all those little dots? That is all leftover water spots. So that's not ideal, is it? Let's try this with some glass cleaner here. I just kind of want to test this out. Sorry, tricky to do this one-handed here. See if I can get that haze out of it. I definitely feel like I did. Is it perfect? No, but that's a very small amount of effort to make quite a big difference, in all honesty. But, yeah, definitely not 100% perfect. So may need a little bit more work, but just, you know, the quick 15 seconds that I spent over here, you can see a big difference in pretty much crystal clear and quite a bit of water spotting there. So, what do you guys think? I mean, it is 90%. I would say there's still a little bit left over. Maybe you could use a little bit more aggressive pad, or you're just gonna have to work this in a little bit more. Of course, over here on the edges, not really a fair comparison because I didn't polish those by hand down here. But again, going from that to that in just a few seconds, I would say it's good, but not perfect. So one thing I also want to try, I'm going to redo this whole section. I'm going to quickly polish this with the machine and then do all the quick edges. I want to spray some water on here and see what the kind of water behavior is to see if we've removed quite a bit of it or if it's kind of still beating up. I'm curious to see what that actually looks like, but I would say decent results, just not completely perfect. I've let this sit for a few minutes here, and I have a few different thoughts about this product so far. Still noticing a decent amount of dusting. Now, I don't think that's the end of the world if you do it at the right time during a detail, but you definitely don't want to leave your glass till the end and then figure out, oh shoot, I have to polish it. So it's one of those things you have to be a little bit preemptive on it. I really always leave glass to the end, and sometimes I run into this issue. Now, by hand, it's a lot easier to not get all of the dust everywhere. The dust really comes from polishing. It's breaking down that polish, that kind of abrasive in there, and it's kind of spitting it everywhere. I have it pretty much all down here, all over in the, you know, seal here. I can see it on the other side of the glass. That's definitely not ideal, but it's honestly less than CarPro Seri glass, so I'm glad to see that. Now, what I did here by polishing it is I upped the speed a little bit and I upped the pressure a little bit more, and I definitely can see a difference in how it looks here. So that may just be a case of I wasn't aggressive enough on it. And again, we're not using a cutting pad on here, nor do I think you really need to. Now, there are specific glass cutting pads. You can use those on rotaries with some pretty aggressive glass polishing compounds. I just want to see how this product really works for the DIY guy, and maybe even a professional like myself. So let's come in here. Let's wipe this away. Again, one thing that I really like about this product is how easy it gets removed. Now, there's still a little bit of haze there, but honestly, that happens when you compound or polish a car anyway, and I don't think it's the end of the world. This I'm looking at right now, even with my headlamp, is coming off a lot smoother. So it may be to the point where you need to work this product in a little bit more, break down those abrasives in there, and then it's going to wipe off a lot easier. But this feels pretty fantastic. Another huge benefit I'm seeing with this product is all of this rubber trim is not turning bright white. It doesn't really change color whatsoever. I intentionally kind of got it on there to see what it would do, because again, CarPro Seri glass really makes a nightmare of all this. Then you're having to go back in and clean this with a rubber cleaner or tape it up, and then when you're polishing, you're kind of peeling the tape up, you're getting adhesive that's going back into the glass. It just becomes really annoying to use. So honestly, pretty impressed with this. And as I look a little bit closer here, all of the water spots are gone. Pretty much every single thing. I just want to give this a little spurt with my glass cleaner here and just see what this looks like. Yeah, very smooth, completely streak free here. Really pretty darn impressed with that. And so smooth now, like huge difference. I can feel and audibly hear everything over here, and it's just completely smooth on this. So last test I want to do here is spray some water on it. I also want to show you a quick 50-50 comparison here so you guys can see actually how darn well this product really worked with a little bit more power in it. Now again, my recommendation here, do the center of the glass with a polisher if you can, or if you have time and the shoulder strength here, you can do everything by hand, but it's definitely going to take you a little bit longer. So that's where I kind of struggle with this product. I do think it works by hand, but it's definitely quicker to do by machine. Honestly, that's with everything, but I think as a DIY friendly product, there might be other products out there that if you don't have a machine would be quicker and more effective at doing this. I don't know. So that's where I'm a little mixed on this product, but honestly, pretty impressed with the results here. I mean, the glass looks perfectly crystal clear. So I turned the lights off here, so hopefully you guys can see a bigger difference and the camera can actually focus like it's doing it here. So this is our before and this is our after. Honestly, huge improvement there. And I would say this is pretty much perfect over here now. Wow. That is a massive difference. So pretty darn impressed with that. And I think those results are pretty quick and easy to do. In all honesty, with a polisher and doing the edges by hand, I think you could knock out the entire car, all the glass on something like this XC90 in about 30 to 40 minutes and make a huge difference. I mean, this glass truly looks terrible. That looks absolutely perfect. Now, one thing I do want to test real quick, I want to spray some alcohol on here, some isopropyl alcohol, and see the behavior, and then I want to spray it down with water just to see what this is doing. Because honestly, a lot of the times with these glass polishes or water spot removers, it's going to make this sheet water, so it's going to hold on to a lot of water, where this is kind of going to bead up a little bit. So we're kind of going into, did it remove everything, or is there still something left behind from the glass polish? Let's find out and see. So I just want to test isopropyl alcohol here. Now this isn't a Geon prep bottle, but it is of course clear instead of pink. This is 70% isopropyl alcohol. And do we see a difference? Man, oh man, we absolutely do. This is indicative that we got everything stripped off. You can see how it just kind of sheets the IPA there, where it kind of beads it up over here. You can see a huge difference in between there. Now, anytime I do a ceramic coating on glass, I like to do a prep wipe down. And yeah, you can see a massive massive difference in between those. So that's good to see there. I'm very impressed with how well it removed everything on there and removed especially all of the water spots. This is my final test I want to do with just straight water here to see how this reacts on here. So let's get this window sprayed down, see if we can see a difference. And that, my friends, is exactly what we're going for. Now you can see up here a little bit, I could probably work this in, again, a little bit more by hand, but I think we did a pretty decent job overall. But you can definitely tell how much different it is to do by machine than by hand. You can see every single edge is starting to kind of bead up a little bit more where this is still sheeting off. But honestly, pretty impressive results there. That's exactly what we're looking for. So let me give you my final verdict on Adam's glass polish. Let's talk final verdict on Adam's glass polish here. There's a lot to like with this product, and honestly, this product is going to stay in my detailing arsenal. Now, using other products like CarPro Spotless, Geon Water Spot, even something like Chemical Guy's Heavy Duty Water Spot Remover, I think this is a little bit simpler and a little bit cleaner way to do it with better results. This is really polishing your glass. Think of using something like the water spot removers, like a detail spray or waterless wash, just to get the initial stuff off. But this is going in and actually polishing the glass a little bit, which I actually like to see. That's why you guys were seeing how the glass sheeted water there. It's getting a lot more off than using something like water spot removers out there. Now, I also vastly prefer this to using something like a compounder polish just because of the polishing oils, as well as what it does to rubber trim. This stuff, I do not see any indication of it turning rubber trim white like you would see with the polish or a dedicated compound or CarPro Seriglass. Again, I think this product is going to be kind of my go-to over Seriglass until I get one that is like super crazy, heavy water spots that maybe a car has been sitting by a sprinkler for, every day for 6 months or whatever it may be. I think that's when you're going to have to bump up to Seriglass, even get into rotary polishing and all that craziness. I think this sits in a very nice spot in the water spot removal area. It's quick, it's easy to use, very simple. You can do it by hand. Now, do I think the results by hand are as good as with the polisher? No. Think about digging a hole. Larry Cosilla came up with this, and I use this analogy all the time. If you're doing it by hand, it's like digging a hole with, a normal shovel. Whereas if you're doing it by machine, it's like getting a backhoe out and scooping up all that dirt in one swoop, setting it off to the side. It goes a heck of a lot quicker and makes your life a lot more efficient. I think this did a fantastic job. And again, really appreciate that I'm not really worried about all of the rubber all over the car. Now, it's still a little dusty when you're using it here on a polisher. So if Adams is watching this, that is one thing I'd like to see a little bit better, is to maybe say this product for one can be used with a polisher, because we just showed it can. It's very simple to use. I understand they have a little bit different audience than I do here, but I also think I'd like to see the dust turn down a bit. This is always something that we struggle with as detailers. Compounding and polishing cars is messy. After I compound a car, I have to wash the entire vehicle because of all the compound dust coming out. It's really a mess, but I like to see products that are as low dusting as possible. This one I'd probably give like a 3 out of 10 on dust level, 3 being pretty darn good, as in there's not a ton of dust. So for me, this product sitting at $14.99 is something you should have in your detailing arsenal. Now again, if you're one of those guys who doesn't like to have one product for one solution, this product's probably not for you. You can definitely go in, you can use compounder polish that you already have and save yourself 15 bucks. But in all honesty, I think you're getting better results quicker with this because you're not leaving polishing oils on there. You're not dealing with all of the trim residue, turning it bright white. That's annoying to deal with. So I really like this product. This is going to be a product that's going to stick around. I'm going to polish all the glass on this Volvo XC90 before I ceramic coat it, and it's going to look absolutely dialed. Thanks so much for watching another out of spec detailing video here from Clear Detailing in Northern Colorado. Let me know what products you want me to test next, because I am going in depth testing as many products as I possibly can. Let me know what are some things you'd like to see me work with and put head to head against other products. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one soon. Bye-bye. I'm actually filming this clip after I've finished filming for the video, but I had to include this in the actual video because I am absolutely blown away with what Adam's Glass Polish is doing here. I've done all of the side windows, I've worked all the way around, and I came to the worst part. This is the top of the sunroof glass on this XC90, and you can see just absolutely covered in horrendous water spotting. Over here, perfectly polished out. That's how the glass reacted after just a quick polish up here. Massive difference. So even more impressed than I was when I finished the video, but had to include this. This is a big winner for me.